Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. If you enjoy these videos, do me a favor and subscribe to our YouTube channel right here at Watchbox Reviews. I would really appreciate it, and I promise to update daily. If you love this watch, you could see it and you could purchase it on our website, thewatchbox.com. And today we are discussing one of the hot new watches of 2019 based on the 2017 Tudor Black Bay Chrono. This is the Tudor Black Bay Chrono S&G for steel and gold, yellow gold that is. 41 millimeters in diameter. It's a large watch on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, and it does feel and look as though it's more of a 42 or a 43 in size, but 41 is the true dimension, and the watch is neither thick nor thin at 14.5 for a 200-meter water-resistant automatic chronograph. That's not excessively thick. It will slide underneath most dress cuffs and virtually all jacket sleeves. Now you can see across the wrist, the watch has pivoted end links, so the lug-to-lug dimension of 50.2 millimeters is the true distance across the wrist. And the spacing between the lugs remind you that this is a vintage evocative watch, not a true vintage watch. 22 millimeters being the space between the horns. And the watch looks great on its steel gold bracelet. You can see there's something new and something old. What's new is the material and the quality, the fit, the finish. What is old is the design, which is simulated rivet. Don't be deceived. It's conventional modern assembly and removable links are fixed by screws. But the rivet bracelet is there, or at least the look of a rivet bracelet. It's a skeuomorph. There to remind you of the days when Tudor and Rolex shared common construction and common sourced rivet style oyster bracelets. Now, the bezel is gold. The crowns and chronograph pushers are gold capped, and the center links of the bracelet are gold wrapped. This is not the same thing as plated, as wrap is much thicker and more durable. You would essentially have to put it around your knuckles and punch a wall to wear through the gold wrap. So for functional purposes, it may as well be solid. It will never wear through, but it allows Tudor to achieve a price point that is less Rolex and more Tudor. Now you can see the clasp is substantial, but it's like a modern update of a vintage Rolex clasp, as it's not a complete milled component. It has some stamped assemblies, but everything is a very thick gauge, and you can see there are spring-loaded ceramic pin snaps for both the locking system, and then if you look internally, you can see inside for the primary folding component of the clasp. There's a clamshell system to lock it in place, and then if you look internally, you can see there are 3 divots that allows you to change the anchoring point of the bracelet. Now, there is no dive extension, but you do get a little bit of adjustment built in. The remainder of the adjustment will be done with removable links. Rolling back to the case, you can see it's simple and rather sheer on the side. It's tall and fairly thick, though there are some wonderful little machine-executed bevels on the flank to remind you that in the era when Tudor and Rolex shared Rolex oyster cases, the hand-finished bevel was a common feature of both. Again, gold-capped pushers as well as crown. But you'll note one of the quirks of the Breitling-powered and in-house Tudor watches is that you have the pre-1968 rose logo on the crown itself, and then you have the post-1968 shield logo on the dial. The bezel itself is solid gold. That is not capped. And then you can see there's calibration on the anodized aluminum insert, so you can gauge the speed of something moving very quickly, as it's calibrated to between 560 units. So while this watch appears to be a diving chronograph at first glance, this is not a diving bezel, and this is not a diving watch, though it is 200 meters water resistant. Let's get a little bit closer to the dial, and you can see there's a lovely matte finish that's vintage evocative as well as glare resistant. The registers themselves are nicely dished and golden in tone. Applique indices, plenty of lume, and you can see the lume color itself is slightly off-white to better complement the yellow and somewhat even tan and saddle tones, undertones of these gold features. And I have to say that there is something about this yellow gold that feels just a little bit more pale than a conventional yellow gold. It's not the 3N that's conventionally used in the industry. It's something a little bit closer to something like a Longa Honey Gold or the Singer Track 1 Geneva edition. Now the dial is distinct in that it features the Tudor Snowflake style hour hand, but if you look carefully, you can see that there's actually a 45-minute chronograph register. And that's important to note because this watch is powered by a Breitling B01 movement that has been re-engineered by Tudor to become the MT5813, and there are differences. Let's talk about what they are right up front. Whereas the Breitling version of this watch usually has a 30-minute register, the Tudor version has a 45-minute counter that is more practical and versatile. Whereas the Breitling version of this watch has a conventional Edicron-based adjustment system. Rolex style free-sprung architecture is used for this balance and regulation system. And finally, whereas Breitling uses a conventional ferrous hairspring, Tudor, stepping ahead of Rolex even, uses a silicon hairspring in this version of the B01. 41 joules automatic winding. The common threads are a vertical clutch and column wheel operation that is both crisp and smooth and lets you run the chronograph continuously. We have a 70-hour power reserve beating away at 28,800 vibrations per hour. We have excellent column wheel feel. The B01 is one of the best in the business, and that feel and refinement continues. Listen to it against the mic. It feels just as sharp and as positive as it sounds. There's a stop seconds function as well as a quickset date, and it is a COSC certified chronometer, so you're getting continuous quality inside and out, despite the fact that it's half Breitling, half Tudor, with a little shade of Rolex mixed in. A watch that offers it all and at an attractive price. This is the Tudor Black Bay S&G for 2019. Tudor Black Bay S&G.